Hello, creative friends, and welcome to the Stampin' Squad. If you're new here, the Stampin' Squad is a community of friends, and together we are learning how to value and appreciate ourselves, others, and the creative spirit that lives in all of us. So welcome in, everybody, whether you're new or you've been here many times before. I've got a really fun Peekaboo card for you today, and it's super easy. So I hope that you will make one of these. Before I go any further, I want to give a shout out to my very good friend and fellow Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Julie Baum. I got the inspiration for this card that I'm going to show you today from her, and I'm going to link her channel up here in the corner. And I recommend that after you watch this video, you go and check out Julie's channel because she's got lots of great tutorials over there. All right, let's talk about the pieces that we're going to use for today's card. This is a piece of designer series paper that is 4 inches wide and 10.5 inches long, and I have scored it in the middle at 5 1/4. So I've already made that score line. Then we have a piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock, and this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I have a piece of Fresh Freesia cardstock, and this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I am going to die cut this today. You wouldn't have to die cut it. You could leave it just this size. All right, so that's up to you. Then I've got a scrap. This is just basically a scrap of basic white where I'm going to stamp my sentiment. This is a scrap of Highland Heather. That's what that is. This is a scrap of Pretty Peacock. So let's start by stamping. So let me move these things out of the way. We're going to stamp right here. And I am using, let me pull it out here. I'm using 2 stamp sets here. I'm going to use the Heartfelt Hexagon stamp set, and I'm just going to use this little dot outline. So I'm going to use that stamp, and then I'm also going to use the Hope Your Birthday is Wonderful stamp from Hooray for Surprises. So let's start with Blackberry Bliss ink, and I'm going to stamp my little dot frame. So let's ink that up, and then that is going to go right here. There we are. And I'm going to use Lost Lagoon to stamp my sentiment. So let's ink that stamp up. When I saw Julie make this card, I knew I had to make it. It's so fun and easy. There you go. Hope your birthday is wonderful. And that, I feel like that's crooked. I feel like I stamped the sentiment crooked in there. So you know what? I'm going to do it again. I'm feeling very persnickety today. So let's stamp that. Okay. And let me try this again. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to grab a piece of scrap paper, and I am going to practice, because I feel like I did not have my Stampin' Mojo going there. And I'm going to clean my stamp. I feel like I'm not getting the best image. Does that happen to you? I just feel like it's not quite there. So I'm just going to wipe that off on my Simply Chamois. I'm just going to press it to make sure it's dry. Let's just try that again. Oh, that's better. Okay, now you want to start a pool on whether or not I can stamp it straight in here. We're gonna go with it, unless it's just terrible. Okay, we're just gonna go with it. All right, I think that's better. If it's not, don't tell anybody. Okay, put my ink pads away. Now, I'm gonna get the Heartfelt Hexagon punch out. Let's punch this out. Let me get it in here, centered. Feel like that's good. Punch that out. Whoops. There we are. Okay, my goodness. Got the hard part done. Okay, let's do some die cutting. How about that? I'm gonna grab these pieces and set them over here. I'm gonna get my cut and emboss machine and bring it in here. And I'm going to use a couple of dies, here they are, from the Painted Lavender die set. Let me show you. There they are. They coordinate with the Painted Lavender stamp set. I'm not using that stamp set today, but I am using some of these dies. And some of the pieces are already die cut. So I do have a piece of this already die cut, and I've got another piece already die cut, but I do have a couple that I need to do. So I thought we would just do them together. And we'll put these two pieces on here. I'm gonna move this over just a little bit. Maybe you can see it a little bit better. There we go. So this one I'll just put here. And this one goes on here. There we are. Where is my top plate? Got it. Right here. And let's send those through. There we are. Okay. And I'm just going to grab those and set them aside. Because now, let me bring it back to this side. I'm going to die cut a piece out of this. And for this one, I am using the perennial postage dies, actually just one die out of the perennial postage dies. But you can see them here, like all of these different sizes, and they have an edge like a postage stamp, which I think is really clever. So we're using one that's missing here. It's not the largest, it's the next to largest size. Let me grab that. Here it is. So I'm just going to put that on my piece of fresh freesia. Grab my top plate. And we will send this through. Here we go. So I can move this. And let's grab this. There we go. And this is kind of fun because I could keep this and use it as a frame on another card. So I'm going to set that aside. But here we are. It looks like a really big postage stamp. That's cute. I like it. All right, let's get these pieces. Here we go. And that's got a little piece that can come out. And this one, this die actually cuts out two of these little flower stems. There's one, there's the other one. I'm only going to use one. There we are. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. There are a few, 3 to be exact, little pieces that can come out of there. Get rid of those. Okay. So we've got those two pieces, and then I have these pieces already die cut. Let's see. This is Highland Heather. This is Fresh Freesia, and this is Gorgeous Grape, and this is Pretty Peacock. I love the combination of these colors. All those colors are in this designer series paper, and they're just beautiful. All right, remember I said that I had already scored this in half, so now I just want to fold and varnish, and I'm going to make sure that I've got my paper square here, that I've got it lined up right as I am pressing down and scoring. There we go. Now, here's the fun part. I'm going to take this piece that's folded over, all right, and the part that has the fold, I'm going to put it into my punch. So this is the folded edge. It's going to go into my punch. I'm going to put it all the way in, and then I'm going to do my best to center it left to right. And I feel like that looks pretty good. There we go. I'm going to go with that. So now I'm going to punch that, and it gives me these two pieces, and I'm going to hold on to those because I could use those on another project. So here we are. If we open it up, that's what we see. Now, we're going to take this and we're going to glue it to this piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock. And at the end, I'll show you another one that I made with this same paper, but a different piece of the paper from the pack. And some different cardstock. Just to give you another example. So center that on here. There we go. I think I have it pretty straight. Move out of the way, little flowers. Okay. There we are. All right. So you might be thinking, well, that's cool, but when you open it up, we've got this big hole in the paper. So what I'm going to do is take this, and I'm going to glue it right here. And this is going to be the inside of my card where you can write a message. This is colored cardstock, but this Fresh Freesia is really light. You can easily write on this with a black pen or a blue pen, or even a dark purple pen, and it would be easy to read. So let's put this on. I'm going to turn this sideways. It's easier for me to get things lined up for some reason if I'm looking at it this way instead of this way. All right, pressing down. Now, nobody knows there's a hole in the paper underneath there. It's our secret. Okay. Now, this little piece that we stamped and then punched out is going to go right in here. So let me put a little bit of my liquid glue on here. There will be a link in the description below this video. And if you click on that link, it's going to take you to my website where there is a list of all the products that I used for this project. There we go. Pressing that down, make sure it's adhered very well on there. And now, how cute. I love it. I love the colors. Okay, let's decorate the outside of the card with these little pieces that we've got. So first, I think I'm going to put this piece down. And I'm just going to use a tiny bit of glue here. Like right in here. Maybe a little bit right here. I'm just barely, oops, I'm just barely putting a little squeeze of glue, and then I'm just kind of moving it around with the tip of my glue container. So let's put this right here. I press that down a little bit. Then let's put this one in here. I think I'm going to put it down here. So it's just a little bit shorter than this guy. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. I'm not going to glue them all the way down because I kind of like them being a little bit, you know, three-dimensional, where they're popping up just a little bit. I like the way that looks. So this, and I'm actually even going to kind of slip it underneath this. So I'm just kind of working things around here. It's like above that leaf, underneath that leaf. There we go. Now, let's put this one in. We'll put it in there. Let me put a little bit of glue on here. I love these dies. They make it so easy to make these really pretty little pieces to decorate your card. Again, let's lift that up a little bit. Now I know I'm being kind of obsessive about this, but I'm doing it the way I want to do it. That's all I can say. All right, we got this one more piece, okay? And I think this piece would be nice, right kind of down in here. So let's put a little bit of glue on this one. Now you could use your Stampin' Seal and run a little bit of that on there. So I'm going to push that down. I'm just going to hold that whole thing for a few seconds here, just to make sure that it's drying and it's stuck down well. Okay, and now I'm going to take my paper snips because I don't want these things hanging off down there. So let's just grab a hold of them. I'm going to slip my paper snips underneath there. There we go. And cut those off. Now, let's put a little bow right there. I'm going to grab my twine. And you know when you take the twine off and it's all like curly like that, for me it's kind of hard to work with when it's super curly. So I like to just take it between my thumbnail and the pad of my index finger and just pull it through there. And that helps it to be less curly. And I think I want to do a double bow. So I'm just guessing here how much I need. So I may end up with way more than I need, but that's okay. I've got a lot of twine. All right, so I'm making bunny ears, cross them over, bring that one through. Okay. Is that how you guys tie a bow like this? Do you make bunny ears? That's the easiest way for me to do it anyway. And I feel like this is twisted. So I'm just messing with it. There we go. So I'm just zhuzhing that up a little bit. I think that's about the right size. So let's trim this off and trim this off. And oh my goodness, all of these little pieces. Let's move that out of the way. And I am going to put this on the front of my card right down here with a glue dot. And actually, I'm just using half of a glue dot because the knot on this twine is so small. If I use a whole glue dot, it's going to stick out around the edges. And I don't like the way that looks. And it's likely to get stuck to something else, which I don't want that either. So I'm just sticking it down on half of a glue dot. And then, I feel like I'm way down at the bottom of the frame there. Let's put this right here. And I think I'll probably trim these just a little bit. There we go. Whoops, it stuck to my finger. And then this side. There we go. And there is our card. So fun, so easy. Beautiful paper, right? Beautiful paper makes all the difference. So if you've got a punch and you've got some paper, cardstock, decorations, you're ready to make this card. There we go. I just love it. Now let me show you this other one that I made. Similar, it's not exactly the same. So I switched the paper. I used some different paper from the same pack, and I made my little bouquet the same. And I used a little bit different color ink. And here's what the paper on this one looks like on the inside. Really pretty. So why don't you guys let me know which one that you like better. And also tell me in the comments if you're gonna make one of these. I love it when you do that. And then sometimes people will also send me pictures of the project they made, which I adore it when you do that. So please feel free to chat with me and send me pictures of your projects, because I get inspiration from you guys as well. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you'll come back next time for another fun card. Bye-bye.